Chapter 18 was absolutely thrilling, and this, as we suspected, is the moment where a love that turns out to be fake is fully revealed. Of course, Chapter 18 is packed with plot twists. If earlier you saw Matsuri blushing as if she was falling for Konohamaru, it turns out this was all part of Matsuri's plan. Koji, who initially devised a strategy to defeat Ryu and Matsuri, finds the situation completely reversed. Konohamaru and Team 7 are now trapped in the Divine Tree scenario. Oh shit, I can't waste any more time on small talk. Now I'm going to break down everything that happened in Chapter 18. Don't worry if this spoiler doesn't include actual images, I'll make sure this explanation is enjoyable and easy for you to understand. I'm Nim, please like and subs, guys. Thanks. So, Chapter 18 with Matsuri as the cover. As we predicted in yesterday's leak, Matsuri will really be the cover in this chapter, which means a big plot twist and an important role will show an unexpected moment of a divine tree human. And the chapter, of course, begins with a continuation in Chapter 17, where Kawaki finally corners Amado so that he removes the limiter. But unexpectedly, Sumire, who had just felt heartbreak, or I don't know what you would call it, but certainly, Sumire suddenly entered a lab where she saw Amado being strangled by Kawaki. But this is where our worries really happen, guys. Our previous predictions really happened. Instead of Kawaki getting true power, Amado did another scenario where he used a shutdown code that made Kawaki fall asleep. This is really according to Amado's plan. He really won't let Kawaki get his true power just because he knows it, because basically, this will have an impact on the mission from the beginning, which is related to his daughter, Akebi. But let's just see what will happen next. And while Kawaki is asleep, there is a brief conversation between Sumire and Amado. But before we know what they are talking about, the scene switches to where Ryu is with Sarada and her friends. Previously, Mitsuki planned to introduce their friends Yodo and Araya to Ryu, who was standing guard not far from that place. But apparently, if we previously saw that Ryu was following them, it turns out that Ryu began to realize that something was suspicious. And somehow, Ryu unexpectedly started using his iron sand. Most likely, Ryu realized that something was attacking him, and most likely as well, it was an attack from Yodo and Araya. But before we get clarity on what happens next, the scene switches back where it shows Mogi and Konohamaru as children. And the next spoiler, although Shinju is mentioned as an innocent newborn baby monster, it turns out that this is really beyond our expectations, guys. From the beginning, when Matsuri saw Konohamaru, it turned out that she only pretended to be nice and pretended to love Konohamaru, when in fact, it was just a trick to deceive Konohamaru. But I still don't understand how this happened, and how the expression of an innocent monster can have such a scenario. Honestly, this is a plot twist that we really can't guess. And in conclusion, Matsuri and Ryu have suspected all of them from the beginning if the purpose of Konohamaru and the team is to target Togedama. This is the question. How did Ryu and Matsuri find out about it? Or not, since the beginning Konohamaru and the team were on that hill while spying on them from afar. That was the beginning where Matsuri found out about their plans. And that means the tree that Matsuri once said told her. Damn, this is really beyond our expectations, guys. Then the next spoiler will really make you shocked. I don't know how this happened, but certainly when Kawaki woke up from his sleep, there was Akebi's body with Amado and Sumire. Damn. I don't understand this, guys, how suddenly there was Akebi's body there. I'm really very curious. Oh yeah, so after Kawaki woke up, there was a pretty long conversation, and it was about the karma embedded in Kawaki's body. But unfortunately, the spoiler doesn't explain in detail what this means. But certainly at this moment, Kawaki refused. So what does this mean, guys? Will Akebi really come back to life through the karma embedded in Kawaki's body? If this happens, will it have an impact on Kawaki's true power, which means Kawaki will not get that power? This is really very exciting. But before the spoiler explains the next incident, the scene moves back to Sunagakure, which shows Matsuri suddenly stops blushing with Konohamaru, and at the same time, Matsuri attacks him. On the other hand, Ryu also turned out to be doing something unexpected. He used his Togedama as bait to see the reaction of Sarada and the others. And when Ryu took out the Togedama as bait, Yodo suddenly rashly tried to grab it. But unfortunately, it wasn't that easy. Ryu, who already understood their intentions, immediately stopped her and thwarted Yodo's efforts with iron sand. It's just like Araya told Yodo not to act carelessly. Maybe if Yodo didn't act carelessly like that, Ryu wouldn't really suspect them. But since the bait Ryu used was Togadama to bring back Shinki, then Yodo inevitably had to do it. And because the situation changed from the original plan and also Ryu attacked, Sarada rushed to help Yodo by using kunai to attack Ryu. And if previously Ryu used Iron Sand to stop Yodo, it turned out that Araya managed to cut the Iron Sand and slash it so that Yodo managed to grab the Togadama. But unfortunately, before we really know whether Yodo succeeded or not, spoilers must end here. Chapter 18 is absolutely perfect. Even this is very unexpected after Koji's direct confirmation that Shinju is a newborn baby monster and reacts based on instinct. If the Konohamaru team treated them kindly from the start, there should be no instinct or even suspicion felt by Ryu or Matsuri. But how does this prove that the plot twist really happened? A situation that logically does not happen, but Masashi really makes the story perfect. What made them become like that? Did Jura, as their leader, know their plan from the beginning? Or the most reasonable explanation is the ability of Shinju itself. As sensor types, Matsuri and Ryu have the ability to sense a very suspicious presence, especially in the previous chapter. Ryu could feel the presence of code hiding behind a black cube. And logically, it makes sense if Ryu and Matsuri can know and feel that there is something suspicious. But one thing is for sure, guys, this spoiler really breaks a theory about the innocence of the Divine Tree humans. If they are part of the Jubi, it's most likely not completely innocent, because basically, the Jubi also have experience and knowledge since they lived in the Shinobi era. But saying that the innocent Shinju is completely innocent is something that might need to be reconsidered. Moreover, their leader is the reincarnation of the Ten Tails itself. And this is what I'm really waiting for, Kawaki's karma. What happens if Kawaki's karma is implanted into Akebi's body? And if that happens, then it means that a new Otsutsuki will be born, right? By the way, this is not a full spoiler yet. There are still other parts that we can't see, and I will update that as soon as the full spoiler is released. Thanks to those of you who have liked and subs. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Databayo.